Hello. What's up?
Hello.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling
Good,
good.
good.
Okay, mediocre.
And you are?
My name is Robin. F is for fears, but you don't have to be scared.
Where you from, Robin?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I was raised in Baltimore County all my life since third grade.
Where we at right now?
I'm at Pennsylvania and North Avenue. This is West Baltimore, the Penn North area.
How long have you been around here?
I've been here for 3 days. Um, Unfortunately, due to my drug addiction, I was evicted 3 days ago. And that's why I've been in this area for 3 days. I live in Lincoln Heights and Garrison.
What drugs are you addicted to?
Heroin and cocaine.
How long have you been addicted to these drugs?
Close to 30 some years. Off and on. I've had clean time. I think 2 years was probably the most clean time I had, and that's when I had my son.
And that was, I guess, during the pregnancy and
Yeah,
after.
I got clean immediately as soon as I found out I was pregnant.
And how old are you, Robin?
I'm 56.
56. How old do you feel?
86.
Is that
Seriously.
is that mentally or physically?
Physically, I feel 86. I battled cancer. I am a survivor, and just finished chemo like a year ago. Um, my son, who was my only child, passed away. He was killed in Baltimore streets. The drug addiction, which I am really in a battle because I actually hate it. I hate it. Um, I'm so intelligent, smart, resourceful, and I know better. I wasn't raised this way. A therapist told me I slipped on a banana peel, this wasn't for me. And I really do hate it. It's just they put so much chemicals in it. It's just really hard to get off of. But they got like I think this block we sitting in is like 3 programs, really. So they popping out a lot of programs, and I am gonna get the help. I just have to get myself stable since I just got recently put on the street.
Did you have a job before getting evicted?
Um, yeah, I have 3 trades. So I'm a lab technician slash phlebotomist. I'm an electronics technician and a licensed manicurist. And I haven't worked in 7 years when I was diagnosed in 2015 with breast cancer. And then chemotherapy and radiation. And haven't worked since. So I've been living on Social Security and a small military pension. Army strong.
How long were you in the military for?
4 years. I did 4 years Army Reserve, and I came out on a medical honorable discharge. I had to have surgery, little female stuff going on. It was a good experience.
Were you using during your service?
No, sir. Didn't know anything about drugs. I heard about them. Vietnam days.
How did you find out about drugs?
um, like I said, I slipped on. Well, I didn't say I slipped on banana pill. That's what the therapist said. But I found out about drugs dating a guy who was a drug dealer, and I was unaware. And he actually woke me out of my sleep and put some crack smoking apparatus right to my mouth and said, "Inhale this," right out of my sleep. And they say the crack addiction, and it is that powerful that it's immediate. Because I jumped right up and like, give me some more. That's how I found out about drugs. I wasn't told from my parent because I was kind of sheltered, county girl. I was kind of sheltered. Drugs were not out in my area, at least not then. And I knew nothing about. I mean, I knew, the basics. Drugs are bad. Stay away from them. My parents did tell me that much, but no great detail.
you when this happened?
I think maybe about 24.
How old was the dude that you were dealing with?
How did I know what?
How old was the guy that you was messing with?
He was around the same age, maybe 26, maybe 2 years.
Was he actually doing drugs too?
He was, I found out, but I wasn't aware when I met him.
So you, the first time you hit it,
Yeah,
immediately after you wanted to.
out of my sleep, yeah, I was gone right there.
Why do you think he did that to you?
I don't have a clue. I can't answer that. I don't have a
Before then, have you ever heard of, I guess, crack?
clue. Yeah, I heard
Did
of
you
it.
know he was selling crack?
No.
How
He
long
was
were you? How long were you
selling
with him before that happened?
probably about only a couple months, probably about 3 months. It was
Really?
something like this was the 80s, and it was like the cool thing to get a boyfriend from New York with a car and this sort of thing. And that's how I met him. I was on a bus stop and he gave me a ride to my destination. But I didn't know he sold drugs or anything.
Mm.
I didn't do drugs. I didn't smoke weed. I did. I smoked weed a little here and there, like experiment.
Since trying crack, have you done any other drugs?
Heroin.
How did you get introduced to heroin?
Trying to substitute and not do crack. So I got off the crack, one of my clean times. I told you I've had various clean times. And I was down Upton area, which is about 3 more blocks from here where we're sitting. And I was getting urges because that's a highly populated drug area. This area we're in is highly populated with drugs and HIV, I believe, prostitution. This area. I'm none. Well, a drug addict, but the other things, no. And we were in the area because there's a market there. We were getting to eat something to eat, me and my boyfriend at the time, and I was getting urges, cravings just from being in the area that can happen when you're addicted. And so I decided, well, I gotta do something because I can feel my bones like, you know, aching or screeching or whatever. And I'm like, so I come up with the bright idea, well, I'll do some heroin because I don't like that. They look ugly. They're nodding and sleeping and scratching and all of this. And that's not what I want, so I'm not going to get addicted to that. So that's how tricky they call it, insidious, baffling, that the disease of addiction is. That's what happened. That's how I got on heroin. And it made me highly sexual. I'm not gonna, carry that any further. We were mature adults here, and I had issues. Like I said, when I got out of the military, I had a female condition, and that was a painful thing for me to be able to have sex with my boyfriend. So the heroin took the pain away. So I did it again, and with any drug, it don't take much, 3 times, and that was it.
When you first tried it, how did you do the drug?
Sniffed it.
Have you ever transitioned into using a needle?
Yes.
What inspired that?
My my tolerance. I start not feeling it anymore. So now the bright idea is to do it a different way. And but I didn't do that long. I didn't really. I never like. I'm a phlebotomist, right? It's like I was so scared, and I am, really really safe. And by me working in that field, thank God that must have saved me from going venturing with that needle. Cause I've seen so much. I actually worked at a predominantly HIV clinic, and a lot of them were IV users. So, I had a little bout with that, but I didn't stay with that.
So the first time you did it, were you able to do yourself?
Was I able to
when
do
you,
it myself?
yeah, with,
With the no, somebody kind of coached me. I did it myself, but they kind of coached me along.
really? Mm. And how long you did that for?
Probably about 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That for that
yeah,
amount of time?
about 2 years.
During that
Wasn't too
time,
scared,
during
huh?
that time, were people actually sharing needles?
You would hear about it. Don't share pie. I didn't know anybody who did, but I'm sure people did.
Really?
Cause yeah, IV is very intense, and it could take you to. I don't want to be on film, but
What about currently this day and age? Do you think people
currently,
share needles?
I don't see people doing it, but you could see like a group of people, and I've never seen somebody actually pass their needle to someone else and
Hmm.
share it, but I've seen people pick a needle up. They're so desperate to get it in them that way. I've seen people pick up a needle off the ground and just look at it and say it looks clean. Then also it's not just the needle. You're not supposed to share the cooker where you cook it in, the cotton, or anything else. And people share that stuff, not thinking that, blood and what's in blood is microscopic. So all of that is sharing. It's just as well as sharing that same needle.
You said just as well as sharing a stem? Is that what you said?
No, it's as well as sharing the same needle. If you
Okay,
use the
if you're
same
using all that,
cooker,
all
the
the whole,
cotton and
okay,
everything, yeah. So
wow.
I've seen that, but I haven't seen somebody actually take their needle, stick it up, here, man. Yeah.
But you have seen someone pick it up off the
Yeah,
ground and like
yeah. I've
use
seen
it,
people do
actually
that.
use it.
Yeah, And thank
No,
God, like I said, the field, me working in phlebotomy, I was just so terrified. I just thank God because I've done some things out here, but that's one I didn't do.
when do you think was the lowest point during your addiction?
Um, I feel like a very low point right now, but I don't think this is my lowest point because I'm still in shock from being evicted. And that's kind of due to, me using, but some other extenuating situations where I had my boyfriend living with me. He wasn't supposed to be there either. So it was other things involved in that. So I don't think this is my lowest point, but being homeless before, I was homeless one other time, and that was a very low point. Very, very low. I was out in the streets, cold, by my choice, because my mom would never see me out. But when you're addicted and stuff, you just choose to stay out here. A lot of homeless people choose to be, don't have to be. Some people aren't aware of that. They choose to. We run hot from our family that's willing to help us and stuff. Like now, I haven't been home yet to my mom's, but I could go there any day. But that was the low point.
How long were you homeless for during that time?
Probably like a year.
An entire year?
Yeah.
What were you doing to survive?
Um, just out. I think I might have been prostituting. This was a long time ago, years ago. I probably was prostituting. Probably asking people for change, panhandling. You gotta take that camera. Those people are having cold.
Currently in your addiction, how much do you use a day?
I probably use 3 to 6 pills of heroin. That's only $15. It's dirt cheap now, and could be about anywhere from I could use $5 to $100 in cocaine if I had the money.
So you're able to smoke $100 worth, like if you had $100, and you get money now. How? Like the same ways that you did before?
Now, no, I don't anymore. I don't prostitute. I retired, hung those boots up years ago. I've had everything under the sun that's bad or that you've seen in a movie. God has shown me some grace and mercy. I'm talking, my head has been stuffed in an oven that was on, and He grabbed me by a hood and shoved my head. So this hood on the side saved my face from getting burned. And raped countless rapes. So I haven't yeah, gunpoint, knife point, everything. They take the money back from you. I'm done. I just couldn't do it anymore. I haven't prostituted in like
During your time of prostitution, how long, like how many years did you actually resort to that as one of your means of getting money?
10 years. Probably 6, 7 years or something.
And in that 7 year time, you experienced that many traumatic
Yeah,
instances.
yeah. I had PTSD, and I wasn't in no war combat when I was in the army.
Did you ever get any type of justice for any time you've been victimized?
Um, One time I seek justice, and you talk about pain because
Excuse me.
you doing a documentary.
We don't want to talk to you. When you feel, I thought it was fun. I got a line up to meet you. I want to get into my story like you, bro.
They actually caught the person. Could you excuse me? I'm
You
talking
got a
about
number?
something personal.
Something I'll tell you what.
Give me a second, family.
Give me a number because I can go out the way. I'm going to talk to you about it.
We back. My bad, Robin. You know, it's Baltimore for you, right? Talk about it, the dramatics. Yeah.
We were rudely interrupted, but we're back.
So yeah, we don't necessarily have to go into like crazy wild detail, but during that time when you were actually living that life, it was a lot of wild stuff going on. Was this at the hands of black people, white people, Spanish people,
Black.
all black?
Yeah, black, a little bit of white. Although this area now is getting highly populated with Caucasians. It's getting highly populated. Back in the days when I was, first started out and busy, functioning, so-called functioning addict, it weren't white people around here. If they were hiding under hoodies and stuff and have us going and get this stuff for them and all of that. But now they're just all over the place. It's black and white.
Currently, would you say there are more white people out here?
No, it's still more black, but it's getting high. It's like almost, I'll say 70, 30 now. That's a lot of white people for this area. Might not sound like a lot, but for the area, it is.
Are there more women addicted to hard drugs than men?
I think more men.
Do you think oftentimes it's instances where men get women addicted to drugs, like in your case?
Yes, I think so.
Have you ever?
Well, that's tricky. I gotta go back on that. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my answer. Yeah.
Have you ever spoken with someone and they kind of had the same story as you, like a guy actually?
Turn them on to it like
Yeah.
that.
Not necessarily, probably like the way
Not
in
exactly
your
like that,
but a
but
guy kind of was like, yo, getting them on the drugs, not with them not knowing, I guess, the severity of what the drugs would bring.
I believe I have. I can't remember the details, but I believe I had once heard of somebody experience something close to like what happened with me.
Have you ever introduced someone to drugs?
Yes, and I feel horrible. This was my best friend in high school. She did smoke marijuana, but I introduced her to smoking crack. I introduced her to smoking crack, and she was out here. I'm happy to report now, though, she's a drug addiction counselor who manages a drug facility, some type of recovery home or something. Yeah, but she was out here. She was wilder than me. She was from New York. My best friend from high school. I felt horrible because I introduced. I didn't. She smoked marijuana big time. Like I said, I never really was into that. When I did smoke it, that was why, because that was my best friend, and I only did it because I was with her. Never really liked it, marijuana. It made my back hurt. But and she sniffed it, but she didn't smoke it. I introduced her. This is that same guy who put it to my face. So
You said she sniffed it.
she sniffed it, cocaine, but she had never smoked.
Oh, she'd never
Yeah,
smoked. Oh,
crack.
okay, until
Yeah. So
introduced to
I
that guy.
introduced her to crack cocaine.
Did she ask to smoke? Like, what was that whole
No,
situation
she
like for her
didn't
to?
ask. I was stealing his drugs so I could make money and have drugs. And she would come over, and I watched how he cooked it up to turn the cocaine into crack cocaine. And so I'm showing her, like, like it's something to be proud of, basically, like, look what I can do. And then you do with it to actually smoke it. And she's more than willing, you
Mm.
know, like, my turn. So,
So was it the same, like, I guess, instant addiction for her as well, like it is or was for
uh-huh.
you?
Yeah, like I said, because she took off. She was way wilder than me. She used to be in the same area, too. Um, like, we moved around the corner from a few minutes ago, and we have Druid Hill to the left of me. That's the area where she used to spend her time, and she went off the rock way worse than me, and prostitution, which I kind of showed her ropes on, and with the smoking crack. She went way above and beyond me, even though I kind of, yeah,
How long has she been
with her.
uh drug free for?
I would say about the same amount of time as me, 30 something, close to 30 something years.
Really?
Yeah.
And when did she actually get clean?
I don't know, actually. I saw her on the bus one day. I know she's probably been clean, probably maybe 4 or 5 years now, according to when I saw her on the bus. But I don't know how long before that she was clean.
Did you and her ever have a conversation about you introducing her to crack and y'all, I guess, being probably in a
Um,
messed up
No,
state
we
at a
did.
time?
Yeah, yeah, we never did, and I really don't think she held me accountable. I think she kind of felt like she did cocaine and smoked weed, drank, and it was just something else. I don't think she really held me accountable as bad as I have held myself. That's just how I honestly felt.
Do you still feel that way? Do you still feel bad that you introduced her to that drug?
I do. Yeah.
Currently, would you introduce somebody to drugs?
Hell no. Hell no. My son ended up addicted. Um, like I said, he died in these streets. And I would say he got involved in gangs, and I would say all of that was a direct result of me and my addiction. Even though he was a grown man, he was 26, but he still was a kid, on the inside. He was just a baby. And
What drugs did he get addicted to?
um, all the above. He used to take as far as popping pills, taking Percocet. I know of him doing it like here and there, and I knew the signs. I didn't see much of that in him, but he ended up because he didn't live with me. He lived with my mom raised him for 11 years due to my addiction, and then he moved with his dad when he was 16. And then at 18, he came to live with me in an area I lived in, Liberty Heights and Garrison, another populated area, highly populated drug and prostitution area. Although my exact neighborhood was gorgeous, beautiful, but you would go down a block and up another block, and there it was. And he got around that area, and it was such a short, quick turn off. He just picked up cocaine, heroin, needles, the works at that young. It was
At
devastating.
how old?
That was 26. And people would not believe, except my closest and dearest friends knew that that was not him. And that, yes, that's when it all started. Because anybody on the outside or, the other little addicts running around with him, a lot of them were older people too, like my age. I'm like, that I didn't even know knew my son. Friends of mine too, who I affiliate now, that I'm finding out knew him. That he was selling drug things that I didn't know. I'm like, why didn't you run his ass into a recovery program or something since he was running with you, and I wasn't aware of. I was blamed for his death and everything.
What do you think triggered him to start using drugs? Just being in that area?
Um, Two things. He did suffer depression, result of not, I believe, not having his parents there. You know, he just always wanted his mommy and daddy. And being raised with my mother, no kid wants to grow up with their grandmother. That's an old lady to them. And so he had some depression and learning disability stemming from the depression, and I think that just played a big part in it. And then that area, he just went outside and jumped right in that pool.
Do you think, I guess, since
And the
you,
genes, the DNA
that's
as
exactly what I
well.
was just about to ask you. Like, so you think in a little bit of time or whatever amount of time you were using prior to actually conceiving, that that was enough to contribute to his DNA?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Mm.
definitely the DNA. Like my biological father was an alcoholic, but I rarely knew him. He didn't raise me. My stepfather is my real father to me. Like he's from Trinidad. I swear I'm a Trinidadian, but it's not in my blood. I don't have his blood.
I hear that. I hear that. My question to you is, because you just got evicted and your situation is what it is, if a car would pull up right now and told you jump in, took you somewhere to get some help, would you be willing to leave?
Yeah. Is the car coming?
I'm sorry.
Is the car coming? This is a
With that,
trick.
with that being said, if someone wanted to reach out to you and offer you that help, how could they contact you? How could they?
Um, Unfortunately, well, I would give my mom's number because that's where I'm going, and because I did get a new phone, but it had a new SIM card that I had to get a phone to put it in. The SIM card was malfunctioned. I had to send it back and wait for a new one. So I don't have a phone right now. But my mom's phone number is always a good number, you know,
Hmm.
to reach me, and I'll get the messages, and that's where I'm going anyway.
Do you want to give up that number?
Yes.
What is it?
Say it on camera? Okay, 410-655-8384.
If you could say something to inspire someone to be the best them they could be, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to believe in themselves, help others, um, don't believe the hype, and believe in a higher source. Joy is always in the morning. If they're having a bad day, know that it's going to get better. That's what I would say.
I feel that. As far as the guy that introduced you to hard drugs, where's he at now?
No clue.
How long has it been since you've seen him?
That was 25 plus years ago. I don't know. Oh, that was in the 80s, and it's 2024.
If you could say something to that person that you feel like he definitely needs to hear, what would you say?
why did you do what you did to me? Just why? That's all.
That's it. Just why?
Yeah, just why.
I dig that. With that being said, I want to thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I want to thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome.
And most importantly, I want to thank you for your story.
You're welcome.
Stay
Thank you
blessed
for being you.
and stay safe.